What's up, guys? Welcome back to the show. Here's Aaron and Chris for you tonight with another episode. I hope you're all well, and let's just jump straight into it. I've got a wee thing to show you.
Perfect.
That I found on the internet. This is one of those
always love that.
This is one of those funny ones, right?
Good start.
So I've got it ready for me right here, right? So this is one thing I've seen. So Yahoo Answers kind of died off.
Oh yeah.
Right. So I found this on Quora.
Which is quite sad. It's quite sad that Yahoo
sad.
Answers died.
I mean, I used to look at that shit all the time and be like,
funny as fuck.
What's the weirdest thing I can find on Yahoo Answers?
Funny as fuck.
And saying that, actually, if you guys have anything that you found from Yahoo Answers back in the day or whatever,
or even just anything funny.
Anything.
Sometimes you get them on. I seem to get loads on Facebook now, like funny.
Yeah, that's right.
Funny, like sort of like just like posts and stuff
That's
like
right,
that on pages, and people
send
share.
that into us. DM us with that stuff.
I will laugh.
I'm going to make the Instagram appear right here. Send it to us, and we will discuss it. But anyway, this is from Quora, right? Right. Would it be appropriate to invite strippers to a funeral and have them perform a lap dance on the casket? Now let's discuss this.
Would it be appropriate?
Would it be appropriate?
Well, whose funeral is it?
I hope it's mine.
No, I hope. Do you know what? I hope it's yours as well.
So
Because I'll be at it.
You'll be like, "Hey!"
I'll be like, "Yes." You'll be experiencing nothing. He's got the better end of the deal here.
Literally, I'm like, go and let me out for a minute. Let me just see something.
Well, obviously, it depends whose funeral it is. If it's your granny's or something, then
that's how you
it's not ideal, is it?
That's how you serious, definitely. But no, I just seen that and I was like, I wonder what you've got to say about that.
What I'd say is, any that I'm invited to, ideally,
Yeah, literally. Like
would be a go forward for me.
Hit me up because I'm coming as a guest. But I do have something serious to bring up as well.
Go on.
We had another submission of advice from one of our viewers.
Okay, another dilemma.
Another dilemma, right? This is slightly similar to the previous one, but different, right? I'm just going to read it out, and then we're just going to roll with it. All right, guys?
Let's go.
So, title and a wee paragraph, right? So, my girlfriend just broke up with me, right?
Okay.
We had 7 months and 6 days together. I feel like my world just shattered in pieces. I even kind of had a panic attack when I saw the texts. She said that she was hurting me and she wanted to work on herself alone. My friends told me a few times that she was manipulating me, guilt-tripping me, etc. And I even feel more devastated because of that. How can I recover from this? I feel like I don't even want to do anything anymore. We see this a lot, don't we?
Yeah.
We see this a lot.
So,
go on, take the lead.
Right, so, obviously, from what I'm gathering there, he's been split up over text message.
It looks like it, yeah.
Which
text
is
messages
just
seem
terrible.
Nah, that's not ideal.
I mean, it's just a horrendous. It's just the beginning of that was horrendous. Never mind through the rest. It was. It was like the fact is when the messages broke my heart. I'm like, wow. She actually never even had the.
That is brutal.
Thing to say to him in person. Like, can I not do it in person?
I know that is brutal.
Like,
that's one thing that I'm like. I feel like that's actually done you a favour, because if someone
you need to, I've got to respect you enough to be able to talk to you in person.
Definitely.
Like, Jesus Christ Almighty. Like, so I would say, obviously, initially the text message is a disaster. Mm-hmm. I understand that he's fell into probably a slight state of depression, a wee bit of shock, sorry, and he's obviously a wee bit like, oh my God, my life is over.
Pretty much.
Right? But the good news for him is you tend to just come out of that.
That's right. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like that, time heals all wounds.
That's right.
That for me, time heals all wounds.
I agree.
And if his friends have sort of said, she's manipulating you, blah, blah, which, listen, I could believe based off how he's been broken up with. Mm-hmm. If that is the case, and multiple friends have said that,
it seems like the control was all in her hand, if that makes sense, over the relationship, just based on the reaction and the way it was carried out as well.
Yeah, obviously she said, I want to work on myself alone, which, by the way, I'm all for.
Yeah, 100%.
I just feel that then that might be true. It also might be a cop-out, but it might be true.
It could be,
It just depends what.
Because it could just be like
she could just be like,
reason.
let me just fire reason out here that he's not going to question.
Like, who cares,
right? Do you know what I mean? Like, so that could be the case, but it could also be 100% true. And she's gone, I want to work. Let's smash life and let me work on that on my own. And if she's done that, then fair enough. She's just not executed it very well.
Yeah. The other thing that popped in my head though as well is it could be an excuse for escaping consequences, because this could be, for example, because she's done something she shouldn't have and she's trying to escape, like, I don't want that to ever come out, so I'm just going to leave now, so it's like, you know, whatever.
Aye, so like I don't have to talk about that. Like that's just completely,
literally.
Like she does
but
something.
That all goes back to not really caring in full about the person that she's
in
with.
the first place,
Because if you did, you would have just sorted it out. Do you know what I'm saying?
I'd agree with
but
that.
that's just a speculation. I'm just
you don't know all the insides out. Again,
happened.
one of those where you don't know all the insides out. But for me, the execution wasn't great.
Yeah.
Could the reason's totally plausible, or it might just be let's give him a reason that he can't question.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to address is 7 months and 6 days or whatever.
Yeah.
Feels short. So don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
You were fined 7 months and 7 days ago.
That's right.
And prior.
Exactly.
So I would say it's not 7 years.
Bro, this guy is going to be sound in the next 7 months.
Give him 6 months. He's flourishing.
Flying.
3 months and he's flourishing.
100%.
So
it's just an instant shock.
It's an initial. You need to be that. You'll have a couple of weeks.
That's right.
Like you'll probably have 3 to 4 weeks.
You will have days that are going to test you.
And you're going to be like, what am I going to do today?
Literally.
Like you're in the ice cream and you're watching The Notebook. That's how your life's going to be for 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Right? And I get it. But, do you know, someone said to me once, who was it again? Someone said to me, someone that we know, I can't remember who it was.
Right.
And it was actually a great bit of advice. He was just like, take a week, like after that's happened. So like, take a week, like just 1 week, and mope all you want.
Okay.
He's like, mope about all you want. He's like, literally, he's like, cry, do whatever. He's like, mope about the house, lie in your bed, don't get up, blah, blah. For 1 week.
Feeling depression mode.
He's like, full depression mode. But he's like, but see once day 7's done, my brother, and day 8 arrives round. He's like, that shit's in the bin.
Yeah.
He's like, get up.
You've had your cry.
You've had your 7 days.
Yep.
Get up and fucking smash it out. And back, like, work, blah, go to life, smash life, gym, all this shit. He's like, you get 7 days. He's like, that's what you get.
Yeah.
So get all out.
That's an interesting way of dealing with it. I've never done that, but that's interesting.
Yeah. I got told that, obviously at one point in my life where I've obviously broken up with someone or whatever, or split up with a partner or whatever, and he told me that, and I was like, damn, okay, and like just took it, and then I was like, right, I'm smashing it.
Yeah.
Like, and it's mad, like, to put it in at 7 days, and he was just like, look, man, you can do it in 7 days. Just like get all out. Like, you need to cry every hour. He's like, get out, bro. He's like, and then you're back on it. Which would be, he was obviously talking Monday to Sunday, right? But it doesn't obviously need to be that.
Yeah.
But that Sunday's the weekend. You finish the weekend, and he's like, Monday morning, let's go.
Get back to it.
Yeah.
So what do we think advice wise for this?
I think with this guy, this is look, man, it was a shorter relationship. You're fine.
Yeah.
You will feel like that. Try the 7 day approach. It might not be long enough for you. It won't be long enough for everyone, for sure. Pull yourself up and just go, right, fuck it. Let's get out there. Get to the gym. Go and get in your work. Get involved. Push yourself.
I'd say if you don't have a hobby, find a hobby that you enjoy.
Yeah, get something. The gym's great.
Gym is great.
I use the gym.
Do you know what I like doing?
Use the gym
when I was in a low spot, I used to go walks and
I like walks
hikes
as well.
and like hill climbing and stuff like that. Just go up on hills and just sit there and chill, whatever. Just anything to kind of occupy my mind.
You're not obviously. So the key is to just, obviously being outdoors and fitness and stuff is good because it releases endorphins and you feel better and all that sort of stuff. Sure. So it's good to just try and get on that horse and be like, right, fuck it. And I always think, like, you focus on your diet, like if you're at the gym and stuff like that. So there's something that you need to think about fairly consistently throughout the day. you're training maybe 4 or 5 days a week. There's something else you're thinking about consistently through the day. You've got work that I would assume is maybe 4 or 5 days a week. There's something else to focus on. And then you maybe have a wee hobby. You maybe, I don't know, like us, play games or whatever at night and all that sort of stuff. And then you maybe go the odd walk on a Sunday or a Saturday or whatever. You do a couple of walks a week. You've filled most of your time.
Pretty much.
Make sure you're going to sleep. Keep your sleep
nice,
on top.
well.
You won't really have time to worry about all that stuff. Like that's because your life will be in
exactly. And before you know
routine.
it, you'd have kind of forgotten and been like, you actually catch yourself being like, oh shit, I haven't thought about that.
Oh shit,
in a while.
it's been 3 months and I'm not even thought about that.
And I'm actually doing a lot better as well.
And I'm not even worried. Because I'm bringing things together, obviously work wise, financially. Health wise, which will also equate to mentally.
That's right.
But
mental
also
health
physical
is just as important
health.
as any health.
Yeah, your physical health can sometimes relate to your mental health.
That's right.
Which obviously that all starts going in. You've got a wee hobby there to occupy your mentally as well, and then you'll find that emotionally will follow because you're just on a track, like a nice routine. Your diet and eating better foods and
that's right.
Watching it will obviously help you, not eating pure Dominoes every night and all that. Like, it will genuinely, like, make a big difference.
Yeah.
Like, having a routined life can help with all that sort of stuff. So, that's what I would say. I understand that currently, this is obviously very recent, you feel like, shit,
what am I gonna
life's
do?
over.
Literally, yeah.
Like, but it's not.
Everything just stopped.
Take the 7 days. Take it from now.
I would try
Take
that.
the 7 days and be like, right, let me cry out, blah, blah, whatever, if that's what you feel you need to do. From day onwards, you put this routine in place, bang, let's bang it out and see what's happening. And let us know how you get on.
Do let us know, definitely.
Let us know how you get on.
If you've watched this advice and you're the one that submitted it, give us a DM and we'll keep it confidential. Just let us know how you're getting on. We would like to know if you're better, obviously. We'd like to make sure that you're okay. So do reach out and let us know.
All anonymous anyway, so
of course. But I will tell you something that has been helping me a lot recently, and it's kind of, I never used to be a massive reader. I used to not read books and all that kind of, I was never interested in it. I found it boring and stuff like that. I'd rather watch a movie and all that kind of stuff, right? But there's one particular person, celebrity, that maybe not idolise, but I look up to it in a way that they make a lot of sense when they talk about certain stuff, like they're on interviews or they're on podcasts or whatever they're doing that I see them on, and they're talking some real shit. They're talking some serious, like, wow, that's clever. Whatever, right? And it come to me that they've released a book. Well, a few books anyway, right? But so this is 50 Cent's book right here. This is called The 50th Law, right? So Robert Greene made the 49th Law. You've read that?
Yeah, 48 Laws of Power is his
like
book. His first book, I think.
Something like that.
Yeah. I think he wrote that in collaboration because of, I'm sure it was because he was inspired by the 48 Laws of Power book.
Right, yeah.
So I think 50 Cent read it and went, shit. Like,
well, this is...
let me give my own take on it, sort of thing.
That's right. This is the ultimate... says here, the ultimate hustle is to move freely between the street and corporate worlds to find your flow and never stay locked in the same position. The ultimate guide to becoming a master strategist and supreme realist, right?
Fair.
And to fear nothing, right? So I've been reading this. I'm on a page, 100 or something so far? Yeah, 100.
Yeah, you've been doing a wee bit
I've been doing a lot
yeah.
of this, to be honest. I started off slow because it was like my first real book really that I've read.
In a long time.
And I've ever really. And then it kind of really grabbed me, if I'm honest. And I seem to find myself actually, wow, I can't wait to go and read that.
It's captured you.
Yeah, like his life, you'd think that because we're miles different, right? Like his life was completely different to many
celebrity
of ours.
and also from where he came from,
Literally,
totally different.
Everything's completely different, right? But when you analyse it in the way that this book has, you can actually translate it into your own struggles, and it kind of relates to you and other people that you may know as well. And it's really good, and there's a lot of really good anecdotes in there, and explains. It makes you realise a lot of stuff. It makes you realise a lot of things that you maybe do now, you've done in the past, or you're about to maybe do. It helps you deal with fear of change. It helps you deal with fear of present things that are happening in your life that you might not be happy about and stuff like that. And it teaches you how to come out your comfort zone, and explains why comfort is the killer of ambition as well. Mm-hmm. And it explains all that. It teaches.
I get that, yeah.
And I think it's fucking amazing. Like, really good read so far. It's been really good.
Yeah, very, very good.
So I recommend it to anybody who's like, who wants to kind of expand their view, if that makes sense, on certain aspects of life.
It just so books for me. So I've read 48 Laws of Power. I've not read 50 Cent's version. So probably try and read that once you're done.
Yeah, I'll give you.
But I've read sort of like that, and then I've read like Good Vibes, Good Life by Vex King, things like that. So they're all like sort of like feel good books.
Yeah.
But also like they give you a bit of guidance as well on just how you're looking at things. So they're like mind changers nearly. Like they not it's so you'll look at something now with a sort of outlook on how that may be. But I find when you read stuff like this, you find that your outlook changes slightly on something you've previously already looked at. So you maybe have a different opinion on it, your outlook will then change to look at it from a bigger picture, a different angle, which I like. So I find them really good. 50 Cent, obviously, you see him in the interviews and all that. He's
he doesn't
pretty switched on guy. Like, he's obviously pretty switched on.
Did you know that he pulled, Chris Brown went up to him once, right, and says, I'm going to propose to my girlfriend, right? And he showed him the ring and everything like that. And 50 goes, don't do it. She will take half your shit. It's not worth it. Don't do it.
Really?
Blah, blah, right? And I've read this. I don't know if this is true, but I've read about this, right?
Was this in the book? No,
it's not in the book. No, I've read this online.
Yeah.
And so he decided not to go ahead and do it.
Really?
Right? He just changed his mind completely. He was like, because
50's obviously a switched on guy.
Yeah. And I completely changed his mind, and he never went ahead with it. And he's like, he went on to explain, like, you don't need to do that, like, because there's nothing. 50 says that there's nothing to gain as a man from marriage. Marriage is for women. Apparently, that's what he said, right? Because it benefits them more than it benefits the man.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
There is a mention of signing a prenuptial agreement and stuff like that, so that you can't take each other's stuff if you divorce and stuff like that, right? But I feel like if, I don't know if it's true, but
I have a really interesting view on marriage.
I feel like if anybody was to ask or propose a prenuptial agreement, you know, when you're getting married, I feel like that's a little bit of an insult to the other person, because you're kind of being like, I don't trust you, sign this document so you don't fuck me over.
Yeah, and sense? Then what's the point in getting married in the first place?
I feel like if anybody asked me to do that, I'd be like, well, hold on.
Why would I be signing something when it's like, what's the fucking point? Because you're supposed to trust me, that's the only reason we get married.
I'd feel if you ask your partner for that, you're basically being like, I don't trust you, so just sign this for me. But
sign this shit, still. But we're still getting married.
So what the fuck's the point? So even though you can do that, I wouldn't personally ask, you know, to do that, because it's like, well, why you get married? But yeah, so that's what he was saying. He was like, you know, if you don't ask for that, then you don't know what's going to happen in 20, 30, whatever years' time. And it's like, are you sure you want to do that? Do you know what I mean?
I've got quite a strong view on marriage. Bit controversial view.
Go on.
Marriage was obviously invented however many hundreds of years ago.
Yeah, it's ancient.
Believe that, let me just politically say this. I believe
I'm waiting for this, because I know your views.
It was created through insecurity. Yeah. Personally. This is my personal opinion. I believe it was created through insecurity because prior to marriage being invented, when it wasn't a thing, you would have a partner anyway. But partners, like men and women or any partner, obviously previously it was more likely to be man and woman, or more openly man and woman, before multiple different sexualities and partners were a thing. That's a lot more recent, but I'm talking in history. Yeah. Before marriage was invented, so this was hundreds of years ago, you would still have partners, from the dawn of time, mate.
Yeah.
Some people would come together. I'm just going to use man and woman as the example. Like a man and woman would come together as a partner. They didn't. I'm not saying there wasn't insecurity about them, but they didn't need the. There's definitely a lot more insecurity now.
Oh yeah. 100%.
In the world due to
loads of things,
lots of variables, social media, all these different things, right? Readily available, women and men, and all these things. Now, the reason that it's there is because if you to actually sign the document to become married, really is just to try and lock in something.
Yeah.
Right. But
you're locking.
You don't need to lock it. You don't need a bit of paper to lock that in. That you're locking that in because you're insecure at the fact that they might try and go somewhere. Mm-hmm. Like they might go, I'm off. Mm-hmm. But you're now able to hold that back a bit.
It's like entrapment almost.
Entrapment's not the right word, but let's just say one of the partners decides they want to get married. Normally there's always one that wants to do it slightly more than the other, and it would be due to the fact that they want to secure their place as the partner to that other person. Mm-hmm. So you don't need to do that, but the security is now there. It's all legal, everything's there. Again, there's the fact of things get halved 50-50 and all these sort of things. Now, that is to basically go, if he goes somewhere, say the guy, this is the man, if he goes somewhere, I'm able to take 50% of their belongings because he's now fucked me over.
That's right.
Right?
Because the thing is, like, when you get married, it's like two formal, two government numbers, let's call it, become one. Because, so then it's from stuff being yours, it becomes ours. That makes sense.
But it can still be ours prior to that. Like, without that document altogether, you could still have two people that relate well and are good together. They don't need to have a bit of paper saying we're going to be together. They can just be together.
I wonder if there's any people, because I've never actually met anybody that's done this, but I wonder if there's any people that had got married, right, had the wedding and all that, but didn't sign shit. Like they didn't have the actual formal.
Well, you will get people.
But hold on, it's like let's get married, whatever. They'll do the rings and all the rest of it. They'll do the whole ceremony and blah blah, right? But they won't write anything. They won't sign anything that shows that they're married. If that makes sense.
Unlikely.
They'll just have it just to say they've had a wedding. You know, they've celebrated love. They've celebrated their whatever. They are married, but not like formally on paper.
You can get people that are life partners.
Yeah.
So there's no marriage there. It's just life partners.
Because I feel like for women, that's my personal opinion, is that they want a big wedding. They want a wedding of some sort. It's more the fact they want a wedding, not necessarily the marriage.
Is a big
they
thing.
want the wedding.
They like the wedding. Yeah. I can believe that. There's a lot of options now for weddings. You can do fucking whatever you want, pretty much.
You can do whatever, honestly. Millions of things. But it's interesting. It is interesting.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I think it's through insecurity.
Right.
You want to lock in with someone so they can't go, because nowadays you can do what the fuck you want. With your phone and all that, you can find fucking people. You find, say, as a male, I can find girls or whatever anywhere, because that's the way that the world is now.
Do you remember, like 20 years ago, it was like, don't talk to strangers, don't do this, don't do that.
Yeah.
And now it's like,
and you'd have to go out to a bar, mate, or whatever, to meet someone and go, oh, what's that? Like, let me now. And
now it's like literally a friend request.
Yeah, friend request. What's happening? Blah blah. Cool. Never met them.
Yeah.
Like, so. It's for me, scary, it's a security thing.
It's getting scary.
Aye, mate, that's the world now. But that's what I'm saying, it's a security thing.
Yeah.
That's why marriage is there. It's a security thing. It's to prevent
that.
It's to make it a lot harder for the person to go, I don't want to be with this person now.
Right.
Because they might have a house and everything together.
Aye, when you add all these commitments onto it.
Well, it gets scary for the person because then they're like, mate, I'm too deep. I can't get out.
You have to,
because I can't get out. There's too much to do.
You have to sell the house. You have to get a divorce. You have to blah.
I know a lot of people that have had divorce and have split. And when I look at people that have maybe just been in a relationship and split, the comparison's so it's so different.
So much lighter.
There's not lighter in terms of emotionally, but lighter in terms of like they're able to just part ways. Look, you're not for me and I'm not for you.
There's no as much.
Let's part the shit.
There's not as much. Let's call it hassle.
Whereas you've got to file for divorce, you've got to make sure that person's going to do that, and then
it
you've
takes
got all this.
forever as well.
Yeah.
And mate, do you know what takes long as well? Is, see, if you do have a house together and you sell it, to go through the court thing and all that and get your money back, or if you're half in it or whatever, that takes forever.
So that I have just a funny opinion about all that stuff. I personally just don't think it's not going to be something I would do. Put it that way. I won't be one to get married because I don't think there's any need for me to get married. If I meet someone and I'm happy with that person, which, like, say that happens, and I meet someone and I'm happy with that person, obviously make my views very well known, and initially I'm not going to say that I'm going to let it go in 10 years, then tell them I don't want to get married.
Yeah.
They'll know my views very quickly. If they're happy with that, that's how it will be.
Yeah.
It will be light, because that is when the least amount of hassle happens, the least amount of shit.
That's right.
Because you just get on, and that's fine. That's all it needs to be. You just care for each other, you just get on, make each other laugh, and that's how it is. You comfort each other.
That's all it
needs to be. It doesn't need to be any more than that. You don't need marriage, you don't need all that shit. It doesn't need nonsense. That's what causes all the problems. That is what causes all the issues nowadays. That's terrible.
Strong opinions from this.
It is a strong opinion. And watch, you just wait till the comments on this episode. I'll tell you now, it's going to be terrible.
You're going to get cooked.
Yeah, mate, it's going to be terrible. But listen, that's just my opinion. Everyone's entitled.
I love that you don't give a fuck. You just speak. Say what you want.
Because I think everyone should have their own opinions, and that's a problem with the world. Is no one wants to sell their opinions. No one wants to be unique. Everyone wants to just go, I've got this opinion, but I'll just keep it. No,
mate, this is another thing.
Fucking say what you feel.
Another thing in this book is exactly that.
Say what you feel.
Not following the pack, but being unique and doing your own thing, and showing your own values.
The whole world is like that now. Everyone's scared to give their opinion.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's allowed to have it. It's a human right. You're allowed to think what you think.
The thing is, people are scared to get judged and cancelled over shit.
Yeah. Which might happen now. But, like, no, that's just my opinion. And by the way, anyone that does want to get married, listen, good on you. Yeah. But that's just my opinion on what I feel in my life. Which doesn't mean that should react onto you. Because you can have a totally opposite opinion to me, but it doesn't mean we need to argue about it. It just means that I've got my opinion and you've got your opinion, and that's how the world goes.
As long as you respect each other's opinion,
I respect anyone else's opinion on it. And I don't push my opinion on people. People don't hear me say this out. Like, I don't go around and start the fucking a cult on no weddings. That doesn't happen. People don't even know people don't even know this is my opinion. I just keep it to myself. If someone was to ask me, so like in this situation, I will happily speak it out loud. And I don't have problem with people getting married or doing whatever they want. But that's just my opinion on what it is. And that's just how it is. I'm fairly opinionated, as we'll find out soon. No, it is. Yes, that's just where I'm at. So let's have a lighter topic from that before we get cancelled.
Okay, go on.
So, this was an exciting moment for me. I seen a teaser trailer for live action Lilo and Stitch film. Lilo and Stitch film, right? This is going to be heavy.
Right,
because I obviously watched. So when I was young,
I used to watch a bit of it.
Bro, I watched. Obviously, there was a couple of films. Watched all them, and I used to watch TV series. Right. Lilo and Stitch. It was like a cartoon.
It was like I remember that.
Right.
I used to watch it when I was younger.
I think it was on Disney Channel. If I remember right. Yeah. Right. So they've now got a live action version, which will be like real people, and sort of Stitch will be realistic, but cartoony at the same time. Can I just say that it'll be like Sonic, the film.
Can I just say that I did not realise how many people actually love Lilo and Stitch.
I love Lilo and Stitch.
Until recently.
Yeah, it's fucking class.
I've watched it when I was younger, but I've not seen it in years. I'm not like a fan or anything like that, you know what I'm saying? But I have watched it when I was younger and I did enjoy it. It was good. But it's only recently that I've noticed how big the show actually is and how much of a fan base they have. It's
massive.
Insane. Like, I bet you there's a few of you watching right now.
100%
like,
people know about this film. Yeah,
people are like anticipating it so much.
So the thing is that I'm a geek, right? So obviously I'm watching a cartoon and he's experiment number 626. So my instant thing is to be like, what's the other 625 experiments and what do they do? I want to know. Because that's the type of shit, that's how my brain goes when I watch shows like this. They go, this is experiment number 1000. So it's like Wolverine, just to nip back into that sense. He's like Weapon X, and X stands for 10. So I'm instantly like, what's 1 and 9?
Yeah.
Right?
What
so
happened?
so then I'm fucking Google gets the better of me, and I'm like fucking Googling it, and I'm like, why are they not showing the shit? I'm like, right, Ken, like, I want to know.
They should make a series and show every one of the experiments.
I want to know what the fucking script is. So Lilo and Stitch was the same. So I remember watching it as a kid, and each episode used to be a different experiment. That's how it was. It was like, this one's appeared, basically the wee ball appears and it goes into the water. It's like a wee egg in it. That's what makes them turn into the alien. And the alien used to terrorize the island normally, right? Because they all have their own powers. So I'm like, this is number fucking blah. I'm like, right, there's not enough episodes here. And I need to get...
You're like, wait a minute, let's just rewind.
We need to get through them. Like, I need to know what's going on, right? And I don't think they ever went through them all. But then there was a website, right, that was like, it used to come up and it used to have like, I'm sure it used to tell you what they all were. I'm sure it did. And it was like, and I used to be like, oh my God, I need to look at this, right, to figure out what the hell they all were and all that. But some of them hadn't been designed yet, because when I was young, I didn't realise that the writer actually has to write them all. Yeah, which obviously I wasn't aware of.
Right, well, you don't know that.
Because you're young, so you're like, I don't fucking know. Do you know what I mean? So,
well, I mean, when I was young, I used to think cartoons were just real. It's just colorized different.
Yeah. So what an idiot, right? And so obviously now I'm like.
Can I just ask you a quick question? Quick question. What was your favourite cartoon as a child?
I went through different phases.
Right.
So early on, I liked like Dexter's Lab and Ed, and Eddie.
Mate.
Courage the Cowardly Dog, shit like that.
Ed and Eddie was my favourite.
So Cartoon Network was my thing.
Alright.
And I liked like the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
Yeah, that shit was sick.
That's what I lived on.
Remember?
But also Pokemon and that, bro. I watched like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yep.
I was in that. That's where I was.
Mate, Ed and Eddie was my favourite, right? But
Ed
do
and
you remember? Do you remember Happy Tree Friend? Do you remember that?
Yeah. But I had to watch it on the internet.
Yeah, because it was the most
You
violent.
get massacred, like
absolutely, just mangled, mate.
So like I remember watching. I had a couple of episodes saved on my.
Honestly,
it must have been like my iPhone. No, it was my iPod Touch.
No, bro, this was before iPhones came out.
So my iPod Touch, you could download them off of iTunes.
Right.
Right. So that's when I first watched them.
Did you? Right.
Yeah. So I had to get them on the internet and watch them and download them on my thing. I used to watch them, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Nah, I watched that shit on the internet first.
What else was there that was quite
It was
good?
on TV, but
Powerpuff Girls was good. Do you ever watch Powerpuff?
I
watched Powerpuff Girls.
Mate, I did watch it as well. Be honest, right? Do you know what? Right. Some of the episodes were very fucking strange.
What, Powerpuff Girls or Happy Tree Friends?
Powerpuff Girls.
Bro, there
was a lot of episodes that were like.
There's a lot of controversy in it if you ever see it, right?
Have you ever watched your cartoons that you've watched as a kid when you're growing up, and you're like, what?
You're like, huh?
You're like, how did I miss that when I was younger?
Bro, there's a lot of controversial characters in them and all that.
Mate, even Dexter's Lab.
Yeah.
So many things in there that you're like, whoa, like.
Yeah. I
watched this shit and I didn't click on this.
But then as I got a wee bit older, the cartoons started to die out a wee bit because they weren't. It's like they weren't allowed. Not like they weren't allowed to air them, but it's like they started to dwindle.
Aye.
So I watched like Ben 10 as I got a wee bit older and all that sort of shit. Like that's how Cartoon Network started to develop.
Yeah.
And there was like Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends and all that.
Show.
Yeah. So I watched all them. But Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy could be my favourite.
Right, okay.
I feel. What's your favourite?
Ed and Eddie. That's what.
Is it your favourite?
I used to just like sweat that. Like.
Ed and Eddie was so funny, man.
It was just.
I really like Dexter's Lab as well.
Yeah, it was good.
Dexter's Lab was really good.
It's a shame.
Codename Kid Next Door. Did you ever watch that?
Yes.
Oh my god, man! Yeah, mate.
They were the shit.
Bro, but some of those episodes were serious, bro. Like, and it got a wee bit fucking weird, man.
I know. Alright, so have you ever watched like the cartoons that you watched back in? Have you ever seen them as an adult?
Yes. So
what did you think?
This is a weird thing. So I'm a wee bit of a YouTube like guy where I get lost in YouTube.
Right.
So like I watch a video, and then next thing I know it's 4 hours later and it's 2 a.m. and I'm like, where am I?
What's an Indian?
Yeah, where am I? Sweating. I'm like, where am I? Right. So once I got caught on a YouTube video that was about Codename Kids Next Door as an adult.
Right.
So then it started talking about it all, and it was like, have you ever noticed? Blah. And I'm like,
all these conspiracy theories,
bro.
And shit, right?
So this is where this went. I'll just share this with everyone, right?
Right.
So you ever seen the film Boss Baby?
Aye.
And then there's a series of it now.
All right.
So they say, honestly, see when I remember watching, I was like, what? Right. So they said Boss Baby is obviously a secret agent, right, baby.
Yes.
He gets sent and he becomes number one of the kids next door.
Because he looks like him.
When he gets older, right?
He's still got the same appearance type thing.
And also, it was like something mental, like they farm. It was actually the adults farm.
Right.
Like something off children or something. I can't remember what it is, right? And it was like, honestly, like I was like, what the fuck, right?
Are we to ruin my childhood? Or
nah, I'm not going to ruin the whole thing. But basically, the adults grow the babies in the boss baby bit, and then they send them down and they thingy them, and
so they basically try to connect.
They wipe their mind, and then they store stuff off them. So basically, how it is number one, like the codename Kids Next Door. That's why when you turn, is it 13 or something? You become a teenager and you're not a kid next door anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
Because remember, number one becomes 13, and then he gets out of the team, and he becomes a teen. He like grows randomly and becomes a teenager. Must go to the gym. So this is what happens, bro. And then there's also number like 999 or something,
right?
Or number 0, and he's the space station one. And he's already too old,
right? Okay.
And he's not told anyone,
right? Okay.
And he works for the teenagers, and he's not.
Do you know what I used to watch? I used to watch when I was like not a kid, but like maybe a teenager, right? I used to be quite into Family Guy, right? Great show.
Of course.
Obviously, all the spin-offs, like Cleveland spin-off.
Yeah, I love the Cleveland show and that.
What's it called? American Dad as well.
American Dad was class.
Right? Amazing. I used to watch all of these, like keep up with the new episodes.
I was a wee bit older by the time I watched them.
But I've watched it recently, and when I say recently, I didn't mean like last week, maybe a few months ago.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't the same. I didn't feel the same about it. I wasn't as I put it on, and I'm like, this isn't. I'm not feeling the same. I turned it off. I was like,
So I'm quite numb to it now.
Yeah.
And I said this the other day to a guy in my work because I was talking about Call of Duty, and he was like, "What's it like in that?" So obviously he's a much older guy, right? So he's like 65. So he's not experienced any of this, right? So I'm obviously telling him about it. And then I was telling him about Modern Warfare 2 and the mission where you go in and remember you're a terrorist and you could skip the mission at the start in case you didn't like what it shot. So we actually became like, what's the word I used? We became like numb to that sort of stuff. Like you're insensitive. You've desensitized. You've been desensitized to that whole thing by watching South Park, Family Guy, like our generation. South Park, Family Guy, like all these shows, playing Call of Duty when you're like 10, like playing like San Andreas, Grand Theft, like all these shit, right? So now I watch South Park and that, and it's so racist, man.
I know.
And I don't even really notice. But if people watch it that haven't watched it, they're like, Jesus Christ.
How is this not
what a show that, like, Jesus. Like, and I don't even notice.
Well, it's the shit that Family Guy used to come out with back in the day as well.
So it's the thing. So, like, I honestly, bro, I don't notice. It doesn't even, it's like it doesn't click like, I'm just totally like, like, it's because
that's what it is.
And it's the same with the games, like Call of Duty. Like, you're literally massacring that mission. You're literally shooting families in the airport and that. Like, and I honestly, like, I remember even back then, I was just like, right.
You're that kid with the backpack in school.
You're that desensitized, bro. Like, everyone was. You all played the mission. You didn't even really think anything of it. You were like, I'm not going to skip a mission. I'm just going to do it. Like, but you never, like, if my mum had watched that mission, she would be like, Jesus, that's tremendous.
Like, what are you playing?
But then you watch, like, these films as well with terrorists and all that in them, and some of them are terrible. And it literally desensitized you. And this is where I'm going to go with this, right? So, I watched a movie recently called Terrifier.
Right.
Now, the third one's just came out in the cinemas or maybe like a month ago or whatever, right? So I thought, let me start the first one. Now, there's a couple of amazing facts.
Alert.
Couple of amazing facts about this film. Nah, I'm not going to spoil it, right? Couple of amazing facts about this film.
Go for it.
I think it was the guy that did this film had something like 30 grand as a budget for the entire film.
Really?
And made it. And it done something like over $1 million in its first day.
Wow.
So he smashed it.
Some profit. Like.
Smashed it, right? Absolutely off the bat, right? Smashed it. Now, it's pretty... You can tell the budget was low.
When you're watching it. The effects on that.
Yeah, there's not lots of effects, per se. Like, it's not one of the Rock's films.
Yeah.
Where there's fucking torpedoes blown up in the background and that. It's not like that.
$100,000.
It's literally in like a warehouse.
Yeah.
Couple of different rooms. maybe one street.
The thing is, you don't need much if you've got a solid idea.
Nah, this is the thing.
Right.
So actually, when I watched that, I went, God, it's only about 5 scenes in this. Actually, like, areas. Like, the whole film is within these 5 areas. I was like, mental, right? There's probably like 7, 8 characters in the whole film. Right? He's like dressed as a clown, so he's probably like a bit of makeup and all that involved in that, right? A couple of times folk are getting blasted or cut in half or whatever, right? So there would have been a bit of effects in there. That's where the money is. Some cameras, done. But it's pretty clear in that. Like, I wasn't shit. I watched the whole film. It was decent. Right? And I struggle with sometimes with graphics and that. Like, if it's really shit, I'm like, can I watch this pish? Right? I watched the whole film, right? Now, this is what I'm going to go with. It's very gory.
Okay.
Like,
I like gory.
To a level where I'm like, I've probably not seen many films worse.
Okay.
It's probably in the top 3. Just the first one. I've heard the second and third are worse.
When you say worse, as in as bad as this with gore, like as much gore.
Like more.
Right. Okay.
The second and third is supposed to be much gorier.
Right. Okay.
So like, I'm sure possibly now, I don't know for a fact, but I'm sure in the second one or the third one he kills a kid, like a little girl and all that in it, like, and you literally see it. So like, this is the level I'm talking. It's not fucking for the faint-hearted here.
Right.
And you see a lot of it. Like, it's not in the, kind of like how sometimes they switch scene and it happens in the background. Yeah. Nah, mate. The scene's on. Right. You're watching it.
Right.
Like, and you're like, Jesus. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, because at one point, this is the only spoiler I'm going to give. He has a girl hanging upside down on chains or rope or whatever. And she's like that. Upside down. So her legs, this is her legs. Hanging down. And he literally hacksaws her in half.
Really?
Yeah. And she's obviously fully naked, so you can see what's happening.
Right.
And you watch, like, he saws her in half. And it is like, Jesus Christ. Like, it's, honestly, this is all I'm going to give you, because I can't actually spoil it, because it's that bad. You just watch it.
So there's 3 of these movies?
3. I've not watched the second and third one yet.
I've not seen any.
Yeah, so I only seen the third one coming at the cinema, and it wasn't really...
The thing is, I've only heard about this
franchise
recently.
Yeah, so have I. So,
I haven't heard about this before.
So I went on... So it was on... I think it's on Amazon Prime, all 3.
Yeah. Really?
So I watched the first one. Yeah. It's gory, like. It's only about an hour 40.
I like Saw movies. Saw.
So, bro, this actually... Like, this is... So Saw was probably the other one in the top 3, and then Evil Dead is the other ones in the top 3.
Right.
Like the franchise. So the Saw movies... Evil Dead 1 and 2, and I'm not talking the originals, I'm talking the newer ones, just because the graphics are a bit better, it's much more gory. And then number 3 would be this. Like they're all, and that's not in order. That's just in rotation.
I really want to see that Terrifier shit.
Watch it. It's like an hour 40, an hour 30.
I do like gore. I must admit, I do.
You'll kind of be like, what the fuck is happening? But he's a mime, so he never says a word.
Really?
Yeah. So he does no vocal lines whatsoever.
Sold.
And even when he gets hurt. This has actually made me laugh.
Does he go like this?
Yeah, so he gets hurt. So I died because he gets stabbed in the ankle or something at one point, right? And he's like, I was fucking floored.
You're like this with the remote. I can't even
I'm like,
shit.
mate, she's like, yeah, stabs him. And he's like, right? And I'm like, and he's like this, right? Raging, right? And I'm like, obviously, complete silence, but I'm howling because I'm like, hilarious guy, right? Not even saying a word, made me laugh, right? And but he's completely silent.
So he's not said a word. So bro, do you know what, right? Bro had the easiest acting job because he didn't have to remember just ran any lines.
All he had to do was smile.
Yeah.
Because he sometimes is like this.
Imagine he comes on set and the director goes, "You memorise your lines." Oh wait, what
lines? Literally, right? So a lot of killing it, bro. He kills. Man, this guy's massacring folk left and right? And it is not nice ways. He's just like, it's like he goes, nah, stabbing him would be too easy.
Right.
Let's just, like, I can't.
Don't say it because I want to see this.
I can't because it's actually we are R-rated. We're like it's like R-rated here. I can't actually bring it out because like there's some moments in the film and you're just like this. Right. Okay.
Yeah, don't say no more because I want to see that.
Watch this film. Watch the film and come back to us in the comments. Or if you've seen it, come back to us and tell us what you think of it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to watch the second. You watch the first one
I'm going to watch all three.
Watch the first one, and then we'll both watch the second one, we'll both watch the third one.
Right.
Maybe not together, but in sequence,
Right.
so that we can then talk about
Discuss
it.
them. Yeah.
And be like, wow, what the hell?
Okay.
Right?
So, on a lighter note, on a bit of a...
Nah.
Let's get out of the bloody... let's get out of Michael Myers' garden shed. Video game I played recently.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Right. It's a bit of a different one.
Mm-hmm.
Right. If anybody's into medieval village building shit, this is the one for you.
Like a building game.
Yeah,
So yeah, I like those games, bro, to be
Right,
honest.
So it's called Manor Lords.
Okay.
Just a bit forgot the fucking title. Manor Lords, right?
Yeah,
it came
yeah.
out a while ago. It came out, I want to say maybe 4 months ago or something like that.
Oh, right, so it's fairly recent
been out.
then. Yeah,
It's still in early access though. It's still being developed as we play it and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But even when it came out as an early access game, it was still fucking amazing. And the graphics are amazing.
Because sometimes they're quite shite in these games. That's
it was
the only
quite
thing.
polished. And the very good, right, so this is what blew me away, right? This game is like very polished. It's very well developed, right?
So is that a city builder, or is that a strategy
let me get
war
to it,
game?
right? So it's a bit of both, right?
'Kay.
Because you're building you're in medieval times. So I'm talking like fucking year 1200.
Yeah,
I'm talking like-
it's nice.
I'm talking horse and carriage. I'm
Yeah,
talking
it's nice and shit. Yep.
people go hunting for food and shit
Yeah,
like that,
yeah,
right?
okay.
It's class, right? And it's very well. The mechanics are really good. The look of it and the feel of it is really nice. The music's really good as well, right? And you
Is it all the olden style music? Like,
yeah,
I love
it
that.
is, yeah, it's class, right? So you start off. You've got a wee group of like homeless people,
Settlers.
settlers, right? With tents and shit, right? You've got you can select the level of difficulty you want to play with. So if you if you put it normal or easy or whatever,
Also less food and fucking.
so you start off
less
with a
shit.
certain amount of supplies,
Yeah, okay.
wood, food, like
yeah.
whatever, right? And obviously, easy will give you the most. Hard will give you none.
Fuck
basically,
all.
right? So
Yeah.
you have to make your own way. Now you can also decide between if you want it to be, because you can have armies in wars between different areas of the map,
Yep.
and you can select it to have that enabled, or you can disable it and just have a passive mode. Just kind of
Where you just build the city.
you don't have any wars, you don't have any bullshit. You build your city, you have your settlers or whatever, and stuff like that, right? And you literally you kind of assign like what you want a road here. So you click the mouse, you have a road there,
And you can do.
and they go out. The villagers you assign.
Do they build the road?
Yeah, you assign people.
Yeah,
You assign
okay.
people to build certain things. Same
Yep,
with houses.
yep.
And the thing that blew me away the most is you can actually see the houses being built. They don't just appear.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
You
when
can
they're
watch,
like, and it's like the wood going up.
You literally watch them do it, right?
Yeah, I like
every single building, every single bit of whatever they're building, it's all like bit by bit. Physics are really good. If something gets knocked over, it's like you can see the rubble and all that. And
That's cool.
it's very well developed. And what blew me away was it was only one guy that made it. No studio, nothing
One
like that.
guy?
Bro, one dude, one guy in the
That's
the
cool.
house. He made this game, right?
That's cool.
He put it up on Steam for like 20 quid and he sold over 1 million copies.
Really? That's fucking cool.
Mate, over 1 million copies.
That is
At 20
fucking
quid a
cool,
pop.
mate.
At 20 quid a pop. Right? Bro and hired a team now. Like everything.
20 million deep. Man, smashed it.
Insane. And
Wonder
so,
how much you had to give to Steam and all that.
there's some sort of split. I'm not sure how much it is.
But even then.
But mate, he's porting it for Xbox and all that kind of stuff, like whatever. You
Really?
could probably maybe be able to play it. Mate,
That's
it's
fucking
really good.
class.
And they also have first person mode where, as the king, because you're the king.
Oh, right, okay.
You can walk and you're walking about with your cape and your massive sword and all that. Some
Well,
shit
through
you
the
would
city
do.
and that?
Bro, you walk about and
Heavy,
everyone's like
man.
that. How you doing? Like, you know.
No.
Like,
Lord-
your Highness.
Yeah.
Right? But mate, honestly, it's great. And the best thing about this guy, right, the developer, is that he listens to every single bit of feedback, and he frequently updates the game and changes and tweaks things for you.
I love that, man.
Based on the feedback he receives from
I
people.
love
if
that.
10 people say one thing, being like, "Oh, maybe this is too hard to gain, or this is too expensive in
He'll
the
just-
game, or whatever." He'll be like, "Right, okay, mate, I'll just quickly sort that out. Next patch available. Update your game, and you'll have that sorted. No problem."
I love that.
Weekly updates, communicates well.
Love that, bro.
It's reached overwhelming positive feedback on Steam.
That's what I would hope for every game, but you never get that.
Never get that.
And
because the thing is with these massive developers like Rockstar or
don't give
EA
a
or whatever, they're like, well, they're going to buy this shit anyways. So who gives a
so I don't need to develop it.
Like, what?
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that, mate. So I take it you end up making a big fucking
Mate, you can
wall
make
around your thing, you've got all your castle and everything.
You can, mate, everything.
And then you can make an army, I would assume.
Yep. And you equip them with weaponry and stuff like that
To go and attack.
You can go attack you can take villages, you can take over other settlements and stuff like that.
Make a bigger settlement. Yeah.
You can go and steal supplies from other places, and you likewise get stuff stolen from you. And you need to guard and protect your shit as well. Mm-hmm. It's got seasons.
Dragons?
No, it's realistic.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I asked for dragons.
There's no dragons in real life.
There might have been.
Well, it's got seasons as well, which is a very cool dynamic, right? And what happens is, it's actually quite clever because supplies get more difficult to
dwindle in winter,
attain in winter.
Yeah.
And you also have the option to do farming, so you can have farming fields.
But obviously,
but in winter you need to farm throughout the whole summer, so you've got a lot of supplies, and it's cool because you can harvest. You can plant and harvest wheat throughout the year.
Yep.
And then you harvest it, and then you have to
you'll have a storage.
So you have a storage
silos,
and then you can make bread out of it, right? But hold on, you can't just turn that into that like that. So you need to then make a mill. You need to build a mill. Then you need to have staff for that mill. Then you need to transfer that from there to there. Then you have to get a furnace place or a bakery or something. Then you transfer all that to a bakery, have staff in there. Mm-hmm. Then you need to make it. So it's not like you're just gonna magically
boom bread.
Boom bread. Yeah. You need to actually work. You need to every single thing that you do. You need to
every step.
And the villagers will ask for market stalls. So you apply an area in the middle of the city or whatever, and they set up automatically.
Because then it'd be fruit and all that shit gets sold.
They go hunting for fruit, but you need to be careful not to exhaust the plantation, because if you exhaust it too much,
then it all dies.
And you can't get it back, and you're fucked. So you need to watch the balance, and you can select that as well. Same with hunting wildlife. You can go hunt wildlife,
but if
and mate, it shows that you can watch the guy kill the fucking deer or whatever. Again, you need to watch because it shows you how much wildlife there is and the fertility levels and all that kind of stuff based on the. Mate,
I love
so
that,
in depth.
Bro.
It's so
love
fucking
that,
good,
bro.
It is amazing. You can earn money from the people via tax. You can select how much tax you want to charge them.
Obviously, then your guys might be raging because
exactly. So you need to make sure you're keeping your people happy, so they keep on moving in, because you're constantly building more houses, and you can also upgrade the tier of houses. You can build double 2-floor houses. You can build whatever, mate. It's endless.
That's a great game.
Endless fun.
I love games
and honestly, fucking, you need to try it.
I would play on that forever.
Mate, it's insane.
I love shit like that.
So good fun. So good fun.
I love shit like that. Do you know, I hope there is dragons in it. Because I believe that dragons existed. And I'll tell you why. I've got a quick and easy way to explain why.
Okay.
So, obviously in history, there's always been talk of big dragons, whatever, right? But my thing is, right, so some of these pictures, this is how you used to figure out what happened hundreds and thousands of years ago, whatever. Because there'd be paintings, on walls or in different... Because remember, everyone couldn't communicate before. Mm-hmm. Everyone was apart.
Yeah.
Everyone was civilizations were apart. It's not like you can just be like, I let me phone up my mate in America. That's not how it was.
No.
So, but the problem is every civilization has some depiction of a dragon and they all look the same.
True.
So how could they possibly all look the same if no one could communicate?
I wonder where and when the first depiction of a dragon occurred.
I don't think you can ever find it.
And also why, and where was the inspiration for that, and
what was the
cause of it?
The thing is, what I think is the inspiration was that they had evolved from, maybe not a dinosaur, but from some sort of lizard-based...
reptile type thing.
Reptile.
Yeah.
But the problem with a dragon is it's that big, is they wouldn't live now.
Yeah.
How does it eat?
Yeah.
How is it going to survive? How's something that size going to survive? Because the amount of food it would need to eat...
Are you thinking, though...
I think they've died out.
Hold on, let me ask you a question, though, because we need to keep it real at the same time, right? Do you believe in this stereotypical image of a dragon blowing fucking
Fire's a
shit
stretch.
and fucking flying.
Fire's a stretch. Wings probably.
Wings maybe.
Wings a possibility.
You can
because
mutate from anything to anything.
Well, it'd be evolution. So it could easily be wings. There was dinosaurs that flew.
True.
Easily could be wings. Fire is a stretch.
That I think is impossible.
It's a stretch.
Like how you gonna blow fire?
There's a lot of interesting animals in the world.
I believe maybe it did blow some sort of maybe poison or some sort of whatever.
There's a lot of interesting animals in the world. So this is what I'm going to say. There's lizards that spit.
True.
Fucking whatever.
Snakes and that.
There's fucking chameleons that change colour. How do they do that? There's octopuses that can do all sorts of things.
A lot of phenomena.
A lot of amazing
Phenomena.
Animals that can do many different things that we can't really explain.
Right.
So there's jellyfish, for example, look it up, called a mortal jellyfish. All its cells revamp to a childlike state. It never dies unless it's killed. Yeah. If you just leave it, it will never die. Unless it's killed. So its cells split as the years go on, but then they revamp to a childlike state. So it just forever lives. And the cells just keep refreshing themselves, But there's no other animal in the world that does it.
Humans were like that.
Well, I always had this thing where I thought, like, we're not going to get too geeky here, we've not got enough time. But I always had this thing where I thought, like, you could take that and bring it into a human.
Implement in a human.
Because that's exactly how humans age. Our cells split. That's why it works. But your cells age. That's why humans have a lifespan.
Yeah.
So your cells split. You're born with X amount of cells. They split every, I think it's 1.5 to 2 years. Obviously, the more unhealthy you are, that can kill your cells or age them much quicker. Now, they split, but they have what's called the Hayflick limit for anyone that's still following this, right? It's called the Hayflick limit. They can only split so many times. It's something like 50 times. Right, roughly. Now, if they split every roughly 2 years, there's 100 years. So it's basically a human lifespan. But if they split every 1.5 years, you're probably down about 75. Well, all that sort of thing, right? So that's how it works. Every living being, that's how they age. Now, obviously, there's something to be said for that. So, like, tortoises live for hundreds of years. But is that because they move at such a slow rate that their cells have no stress on them, so that's why their cells are a lot slower? So their cells split a lot slower. That's why their lifespan's longer, etc. So bees don't live very long.
No.
But they fly. They're like fucking bang, 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 bang.
Do they even sleep? Like, you know?
Never stop. That's why their cells will go, and then they're
also tiny as well.
So their limit eventually. Yeah. So the jellyfish lives forever.
Right.
This one jellyfish
it just floats there.
Well, eventually, unless it gets killed.
Yeah.
But it gets eaten by something or whatever. So you could bring that into a human being, but obviously then there's all this thing where they wouldn't want it because no healthcare and all that bollocks, right? But this is what I'm saying. So dragons is actually scientifically a viable possibility. Fire, stretch, but it's not something that's impossible. Could happen. Could be a possibility. You would need to understand how it was able to do it. But
I do wonder. I'm going to read on it. I do wonder.
Oh mate, this is one of the things where I'm like, it's 2 a.m, bro,
you can
and I'm deep,
you can spend hours on that.
I'm
shit.
deep in, bro, and I'm trying to understand, like, but what, a giant lizard that flew just sounds like a pterodactyl. It's not. Yeah. It's not that
a giant reptile that flies. That's not far.
It's not that far away. So like, I'm kind of like, well, that's a possibility.
Yeah.
And they've obviously been drawn everywhere, but now aren't. So it's the same. Like, so. Why would it not be? And it would have to eat a lot to be that size and fly.
Yeah.
Oh, calories would be probably tens of thousands of calories a day.
Yeah.
It won't have the food source to be able to eat that much.
Hence they may be extinct because they can't.
Hence why they've gone extinct. So there was a lot of big creatures back in the day, if you believe in all that stuff.
Yeah.
Science. Like, I don't know, mammoth, all these things, dinosaurs. They actually just didn't have a food source.
Yeah. And so, also a big asteroid wiped them out.
Well, they say so. I'm still unsure on that. It's a possibility, but I feel we would see more remains from it. But a likely factor would be that the food source died out. How did they live? How did they live that long if the food source, like with the food source dying out? Like, if you're a T-Rex, you're massive. So, like, so how much would you need to eat?
The thing is, we're seeing this today in the wilderness. Like so many
lots of things die out.
So many species of animals go extinct.
They don't have food source or
whatever because there's just nothing out there to eat.
They can get poached as well, but there isn't a food source for everything.
That is another thing though, yeah.
Because we're building bigger civilization, there's no food source. for the animals because their forests and stuff's getting smaller.
That's
So
right.
you're then getting less and less animals, which are then meaning they can't kill other animals to then with the food
And
chain.
also global warming is
Yeah,
having a
and
part
it's
with
getting
that as
warmer,
well.
so
Yeah,
that's pushing the land to be less because the water's rising, which is meaning less land, which means there's less animals, so it just goes like this massive
Yeah.
spiral. But if you actually start looking into it, mate, you'll be here all night.
We've really spiraled, haven't we?
Yeah, but I like it.
I love it. I love when we I love when
That's just where we're at.
I love when we talk about one subject. We're talking about a game, and now we're talking about global warming. and
Mate,
shit.
honestly, this stuff's like I am a
I feel
proper
like, I
geek
feel
on
like
it.
one day we should have a 5-hour podcast,
A live one,
a live one.
all night.
Let's do a live night stream.
Can do that.
Let's just
I'm up
talk
for that.
shite.
It'll be
and we can
serious.
talk with you guys. We can talk. We can.
Oh yeah, because you can
Yeah,
type
you can
yeah,
comment
yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff.
let's do
Yeah,
that,
we need
let's
to do that. We need to do that. Let us know in the comments if you want us
If
to
you
see
want to
that.
do that, yeah.
Other than that,
Yeah, that's the show. That's
the show.
So I'm glad if you're all still here, well done. Well done, because we spiraled away there.
we
Like,
fully did. Yeah.
so no, thanks guys for joining us.
Absolutely. No,
And
thank you very much
it
for
was like-
watching. And as always, give us a like and a subscribe if you enjoyed the content. And if you have any advice and other things you want us to talk about or any sort of things, put it in the,
Yeah,
put
hit
in the
us with your
comments,
dilemmas, all
or
that sort of
send
stuff.
us a
We can
DM,
talk on
whatever,
that next week.
and we can certainly add it to our podcast. So yeah, have a good night. And
Sweet
thank you for
dude.
watching, and see you
Enjoy.
next time.